Okay, assalamu alaikum everybody. This is Mathis-Na podcast series. We're in a little bit of a pickle. We're in a sick location. As you can see, it's all metal here, so we've had to walk through these metal detectors to make sure none of us have got any metal plates in our brains or anything like that. But no, honestly guys, Mathis-Na, this is podcast episode number 12. Yesterday, we were in a different location, but you guys will get to see what that location is. But we've not been on for about 2 weeks, 3 weeks now. We've taken a little bit of a break, not because we had other things to do, but actually we did have other things to do. Some people were out of the country, some people were still here. We were sitting down, discussing new ideas, new plans, and as you can see today, we're on location, we're on site. We're not too far from our flagship studios. Flagship studios, but actually we're quite close to where we live. And I think it's really good for you guys to show something that's quintessentially part and parcel of being Bangladeshi. You know, we kind of almost not just live in our homes, but we live in these types of locations as well. You know, a lot of our lives are spent in here, especially our elders that came over. So we're in the kitchen of an Indian takeaway. This Indian takeaway is called ASHA. It's in Brierfield, and this is the proud owner of ASHA, young man called Hannan. Abdul Hannan, yeah? Abdul Hannan has joined us here today as a guest. We've still got books, we've got Prince here as well, and Yogi's there sipping on a brew with some biscuits. But he's on the 360 camera anyway, so you guys will see him throughout this episode. And this episode is quite special to us, guys, because we know Hannan, we know the history of this location, and we know the history of the trade as well. We've kind of lived through it, we've seen it, we've been part and parcel of it. Some of us dip in and out every now and again. But I think if you go back to a previous episode, Prince hasn't done his national service in the Indian trade.
This is my first ever visit to an Indian takeaway kitchen.
He's so excited.
But the way he was talking when he first come in, the way you were talking first though, it seemed like, you know,
he's not spent for a while.
He's putting you on, man.
He was going to cost
but I have to be isolated.
Not yet.
Other Russian isolation as one. If take away packing go horse na, money kitchen on. Easily Bustambula Tika Sami kitchen, I'll go and do some deliveries. Eat all for the
We can do all of that today.
I'm going to do
all of that
today.
Yeah. So
Not
guys,
from there, yeah.
we may, I don't know, it depends on how courageous we are. We might even just put the stoves on and warm up a couple of poppadoms. We might warm up a couple of poppadoms and dip them in some mint sauce. I don't know. But today's episode is all about us being on site, on location. And this is the first of many that we've actually planned as well. So we're not going to tell you where we're going to go, who we're going to go with, where we're going to be, but you'll see it throughout. But today's episode is about Hannan in particular, because his journey here in the UK started off with you being born and brought up in Bangladesh. So, look, before we do any further talking, Hannan, give us a little bit of an introduction about just you, very plain and basic you. So give me the chicken korma version of you.
It's called Bisharatpur Bonam. Everybody knows it as
Bisharatpur.
Yeah, it's Satoh Thana.
Okay, so you're from
I'm next
side.
to
the neighbors.
probably,
Your
yeah.
neighbors.
We know Khaled Damla.
Yeah.
Lautala,
Okay, that's fine.
Just bordering that basically.
So if we go back now, so you were born there, right?
Yeah.
How many years were you there?
So basically, obviously, I was born in Bangladesh. My nana, who was here originally.
Okay.
So then there was a gap, and then my mom came here,
Okay.
and then she brought us here.
Okay.
So that was the timeline.
So your mom came to UK before you came to the UK.
Yes.
You didn't come together.
No.
So how old were you when you came to the UK?
I was 11.
11. So
Just that's when I came. Just leaving primary school and then joining high school.
So you still remember, like, are those like
I remember everything. Like
first, like getting off the plane? Remember getting off the plane?
Yeah.
what was your first experience of getting on a plane?
I was actually nervous, you know, because I didn't know what to expect, and I was quite sad at first, you know, like leaving everything behind, and obviously because I was joining my mom, also it was like a happy moment as well.
So do you know where you live in Bangladesh? Is it a built-up town, city, or very rural?
It's a village basically, and roads, everything. I'm now there. Get to like a proper place, and then from there with car you'll go to Sylhet. Yeah,
So that was the first time I would say that you actually travel outside of your.
I've been to Sylhet, with cars and traveled and seen the, the city life. So
What was the first time you saw a plane then? Was it on your journey here then?
No, I've seen because my mom, my uncle, all of these when I was small, they used to come and go.
Right.
So I've been to airports and he wasn't.
So what was the first thing then? Go on, tell us what your first, when you
First thing I remember was the service station.
Service station?
Because we landed in Heathrow.
Oh, yeah.
So
Okay, actually, before you talk about service station,
Yeah.
what was it like to walk into a crowd of just white people? like was that not alien to you? Was it, because obviously,
yeah, but to be honest, I didn't think much of it at that time. I was more like I was tired and
Jet lag probably.
yeah, and when I came, like landed in Stonium, it was mainly Asian people, and then slowly my first ever trip was to ASDA. Yeah, that's when I started like noticing things are different here. A lot is tidier. Number one.
when you got off the plane, obviously you come into the airport. You're gonna go through all of that. It just happened. You didn't really pay attention to it, right?
Yeah,
I'll tell you one
it was
thing.
like a blur to me. Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing. A lot of people say when they first come, they said, especially in the north of England, the houses, the terrace houses, they're like, in Bangladesh we call it a colony. Like a row of houses. They were like, it almost feels like you guys are crammed into a 2-bedroom house. Everything's like congested. Everything's like in what? Did you feel a little bit like that, or?
Yeah. So once we come to Stonium, obviously we rested. The next day I started noticing these things.
Okay.
Everybody's small rooms. As soon as you open the first front door, you're out on the street. There's no open space. Bangladesh your open space. You've got your boundaries. None of that. You just basically open the front door. You're
on the road.
Yeah, that's it. You're on the street. Yeah, that's it. And I remember it was cold. But I was prepared for that. But I'll tell you guys a few stories I've heard, misconception, if you call them. Like how cold it was and how even schools, they used to scare me. Like if you're a naughty boy, they'll put you in a freezer room.
Nice.
That's what they told me.
You said that to you.
I think my mom or my auntie, one of them, like very cold. And like I used to get scared. I was like, when I first went to school, I was like, I think that made me sort of, when I went there, behave like,
Hannan, so you said that, and you came to Stonium. Why Stonium? This is why I never understand. Why are all these people coming here, man?
Well,
the family here.
Yeah.
Is it a family?
Don't forget, he's saying his mum came first. So his mum's obviously come to Burnley. He's come and joined his mum.
Okay, so I'll go back.
Tell us the roots of
so
Stonium.
originally my nana, he was in Birmingham. So he lived there, and then he went to Bangladesh. He fell ill. He passed away in Bangladesh. So my nanny later on, just to make it short, she brought my mom and my uncle to UK. And so originally they went to Australia. Yeah. And then obviously they made the decision. They probably somebody from here invited them. Come here, jobs here, and all this kind of stuff. Because my mom used to work in factory, sewing and all this machinery basically. And then when she came here, she found jobs, what do you call them? The guys used to come into your house.
Piecework.
Yeah.
Give you stuff to do.
And then
they come and collect it.
And then they come okay.
So my mom used to do that, and she
আমরা বাংলায় কিতা কই in our community, তুমি কিতা করো না গো কিছু করি না তো গরমে বইয়া সিলাই কাম করি
So my mom used to do that. And I remember when I first come here, the front room was full of that, and her machine was there. So so they made the decision to come to Stonium, and then we came and joined them.
What was the?
Well, you know what? Like just to add to that, I am so glad I came here because I don't like, I'm so lucky in terms of I could have easily gone to a different area and made different friends.
It could have been a Brummy,
but
man.
honestly,
Yeah,
this is 100 heart, yeah. I appreciate the friends that I'm like, I came to join. Because honestly, like,
I like Bashir this thing.
yeah, honestly, I'm so thankful because I could have easily, I don't know, gone to London or something and ended up being somewhere else.
Do you think you would have done
You
what you're
understand?
doing here?
I think the way I turned out, obviously my family played a big part and my journey as well, but also the friends I made, because I didn't have brothers or anyone like coming.
So okay, talking about the friends that you made, is that friend like Sena? Man, ayah kau sana boleh I say go.
Kita bullying kita both lampa story ase. Kuno zile sam buccio na. That helped me. Journey. Even if they were like, doing stuff or saying stuff behind my back. I didn't understand it at first, so it was alright. It didn't hurt my feelings.
Because you came straight into high school, not you didn't come into primary. Because when
I got a little bit.
You did
like
private school.
I went the boy. I can't remember that much.
it's very short.
Yeah, very short.
look,
Then the summer holidays started.
Because I work in education as well, a lot of the times when you have a newly arrived person into the country, being in a primary school setting really does get them to learn more about what's going on.
Yeah.
But once you go into high school, it's really a case of, it's a year 7 kid, it should be, be established and all of that. So, this idea of you coming into this country, going straight into high school, obviously you didn't have English as a language.
No.
What was it like to learn English? Because I don't think we're going to ever experience that.
Yeah.
Unless I move to France right now and as an adult trying to learn French.
It was difficult, but I started picking it up, like, because I was talking to people and playing in the park, and so I don't know how I did it, but I started learning it.
I really want to take him back to a particular conversation.
So I can't remember how I just started talking. And
Can I ask you a question? Like you're saying that, Tamar, and you're afraid to be here. Like you're not afraid, but you're a bit wary, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
it's
then,
afraid of unknown, basically.
Yeah, unknown. And then you had friends that they're welcoming, but At what point did you think that, was there a point in your mind that you think, I'll be all right here? Like, I'll be all right. Was there ever anything in your mind?
So within our friends, there was some of them that took me like straight away.
They took you in,
Yeah, they just accepted me who I am.
Get under my wing.
Some of them, because we had a massive group, didn't we? And within the
Your
group,
friend circle is about 20 lads.
30.
It was like the biggest year group that we can remember.
So name was who took you in there?
Yeah, so the first day in Borden was Nadim.
He's an alright lad, isn't Nadim?
Yeah, so I remember he was the first one. But before Nadim, I knew Kaiser.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew Sadiq.
But how did you know them?
They're from the same area.
Oh, right.
You Belford Street first.
Yeah. Belford Street. Yeah. So what happened was during the summer holiday, I got to know them, went to their house. I had dawat and all that stuff. So Kaiser was the first person like properly I was
looking after you.
Yeah. So in terms of school, he was Nadim.
Okay.
The first person I met.
So I was just saying to Bukhari, I want to take you back to your first conversation. And what I mean by your first conversation.
In English?
No.
Okay.
You come to the UK. That first phone call that you had with the people that you left back home.
Okay.
What did they say to you? What were they asking? Money, do you remember?
All right. Well, no, because we didn't have phones then. Yeah. It was because I was small. I was like the last one they wanted to speak to. Obviously, I can't give them money or nothing. Not yet. So they've gone. All the adults in the house, they've already spoken, and then at the end, Balasani, Balasi. Okay, that's it. Right. And obviously, it was expensive to make phone calls then. Yeah. So
you have to get them.
That's it. That's it. And he was them cassette recordings.
Which cassette?
Oh yeah.
Remember, I thought cassette
Yeah.
guitar
This is what, yeah, this record cassette. And this is
them
empty.
talking.
Yeah, them
No.
talking.
and then they'll play it, and then it's like podcast basically.
No, podcast.
Yeah, but they just listen to it. So you record it in one destination, it's give it to them.
over.
Yeah.
And you know, there's a reason why some people used to record it as well, because don't forget, a lot of people couldn't write Bangla. They didn't have that as a skill. So the easiest thing to do was tape record you telling somebody or telling them off. Like I remember even my mum, you know, she used to have a proper go at her sisters and her brothers, but through the tape recorder. Really? Yeah. Like, it was an uninterrupted rant that they could have. So you're gonna send it over, and they're gonna listen 90 minutes of you ranting. Yeah. No, it was
You know,
good.
talking about writing, my mom, she basically taught herself how to write because she couldn't read and write.
English, of course.
No, in Bengali.
Bangla,
Yeah.
So, because she was in village, busy, you know, raising us, they don't really have time to go to school. So, yeah, she started like writing letters. Like she learned it here.
All right.
Yeah, and there's a
So
story
was
as
that-
well that helped.
Was that to communicate back home in Bangladesh?
Yeah, sending letters,
Right.
you know, to my dad maybe and others.
Yeah, let's hear this story.
Yeah. So she fell ill in 2003.
Okay.
She went to hospital. So long story short, she couldn't talk at all.
Oh, okay.
So the only way she could communicate with us,
Through writing.
writing. So she'll write like one or two like and we have to guess. Sometimes it was like really frustrating. Like she'll just throw the pen because she
Yeah,
couldn't
of course,
understand.
yeah,
it.
definitely.
So it was very poorly. And since then, ever the base law she's been unwell. So yeah, so Tanjung Forta Vartana, like Lechto Vartana, this like Tana for Mathis-Na, like she couldn't talk at all.
Can I ask about your mum, Hannan? You know, if you're comfortable talking about it, because it sounds like she took on a lot of, you know, responsibility, right? But, you know, like in terms of the sacrifice that, you know, she made for you.
Yes. So
Tell us a little bit about that.
funny you mentioned that actually. We talked about it last week here.
Okay.
I found like, I'm clearing my house like recently, and I found corporate receipt from Comet.
Comment.
You remember Comet? Yeah. And within my friends, I was one of the first ones, Kaim knows, to have a PC.
Oh, fancy.
Yeah. And I found the receipt for the PC.
Oh, wow.
From Comet.
Expensive.
And, yeah,
So
so
you mean like a desktop PC?
Desktop, proper
Yeah.
desktop.
yeah, because that was 2003. Yeah. So the reason I'm mentioning this is, although like we come from Bangladesh recently, my mom gave me everything
Like you know.
like I wanted in a way, so I didn't feel like I was left behind.
So how many brothers and sisters are you?
So I've got two sisters.
Yeah.
One passed away just before COVID,
Yeah.
and me.
So
From my mom.
are you the oldest in your siblings?
No, I'm the youngest.
you're the youngest,
Yeah.
okay.
So in terms of technology, games, and all this stuff, like I never felt like I was poor or I wasn't, you know, like my friends, they were getting stuff, and I did. And my mom gave me all that. Now I'm like we were talking about it last week. The fact that, you know, being the way we were, she had to, you know, it had jobs at all better minimum.
Very
yeah.
poorly, poorly paid.
And she gave me all that. And nowadays, like, you know, it had bala income you can't even
So your
get
mom
all
must
that.
have seen the potential in
yeah.
you for you to have a PC, because a PC
But
wasn't just for gaming.
yeah,
was it?
so obviously I'm you know, I wanted it for home. So game so yeah, yeah, she gave me like everything I wanted in games, for whatever I wanted. Like I didn't feel like I wasn't part of them. Yeah. So yeah, so coming back to my mom, she basically made sure I was happy, and I wanted things, you know, that I wanted, and I got it.
So
And I appreciate that. And obviously, being here, even we were talking about iPhone 17 the other day, like I've got it, but I'm not bragging about it.
Oh, yeah.
What I'm saying is,
Humble brag.
but can you imagine, like, I mean, sometimes I think about it. Imagine I didn't come here. Really, what would have been my situation?
You still have an iPhone 17, right? You
But now, alhamdulillah, you know, because of my nana, obviously he started the journey. You know, so obviously then my nanny, who did, you know, very hard job to loads of people told her, don't bother because you're gonna waste money, it's not gonna happen, you haven't got the documents, all that stuff to prove that, you know, my nana was here. So she carried on, and then, you know, with all the hard work that she put in, we here, and I'm here because of them.
So you have moments of reflection for what your grandfather
I do
did.
definitely,
Like,
honestly.
Did you get to meet your grand?
No,
That's
only my nanny, that's it, my grandma basically.
So you know, like you have
From my father's side, I didn't see them.
You know, one thing that you'll probably relate to, Hannan, is, you know, one of the first times I was out of the UK, right? So I went to Egypt for a little bit, right, to study Arabic, right? And so it's not a holiday or anything.
Yeah.
Well, it is a holiday,
Okay,
isn't it?
but it's
you're not
hybrid.
with, no, but you're not with like you're not in a hotel.
Yeah.
There isn't a structure supporting you.
Yeah.
To me, like, you're on the road and that's it. You need to sort yourself out, right?
Okay.
And one of the things that I realized, you know, in that moment when I was in Egypt, I went with Farouk and a few other guys, right? Well, in that moment, I realized, you know what, man, moving to a foreign country where you don't speak the language, you don't understand the system, it requires a lot of
That's
courage.
why we have this sense of, you know,
courage, man.
support for all them people coming over on the boats.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you.
We support.
I'm saying that
support
big
that,
knowledge.
No, because it is, because, you know, sometimes, like, alhamdulillah, I'm in a position where I can help some of these people that come over, yeah, and I understand it, and I know the journey that they're going through, and table eventually turns, you know, they do settle here and they become something afterwards, but they will remember who helped them, you know, like beginning of their journey, and they will remember, trust me, I remember the people that helped me and did, you know, every little basically helps, you know, we might not be in Tesco, but in life as well, you know, every little does help. And yeah.
So, sorry to interrupt you there, and Hannan, tell me about your thingy then. Tell me about, you know, moving away from something a bit more, moving away from something serious to a bit more light-hearted, right? So, Stonium was a crack in it, yeah. Come on, everybody knows.
Well, you know what? One of the memories I have for him. Do you remember Masum? Yeah. I'm not Parker, you know, the roundabout thing. Him, Ekbar Ami Khoili Islam, yeah. Oh, I can stay on there. No one can get me off.
That was a heavy one as well.
Yeah, he won't remember this, but it was him,
Saligini.
Masum.
You are such a bully, man.
Few
You are such a
others,
bully, man.
Yeah. I'm at a bit you know, in the auto, I could, you know, like just leaning against one of them poles, and they went crazy, yeah. And you know what happened to them? They just went mental. But
that roundabout was dangerous, man.
It was very
went well
fast.
fast.
Yeah.
Very fast.
And you took advantage of the roundabout.
They slowed it down afterwards.
To bully an innocent thingy, man.
Yeah.
That's a
Vulnerable
roundabout
child.
in front of the masjid, right?
Yeah. But afterwards they slowed it down, but it was, you know, very
Oh,
fast.
that's it. But okay, talking about your school life here in the UK, because when you were in Bangladesh, did you go to primary school?
Yeah, I went to 4/5.
Year 4, year 5, maybe.
Yeah.
Right. Coming here into right. So let's say you're here now, Borden High School. How much do you think Borden High School and your friend circle shaped you to who you are today?
Friends, definitely. They basically shaped me in terms of, I've learned quickly with them because I had to. Like you said, you know, bullying and all that.
Was there
all
nobody
that
else
stuff happened
in your friend circle that also came from Bangladesh that was growing up at the same time? No?
No, I don't think so. Can you?
What's that?
Was there anybody else like Hannan who came from Bangladesh and then joined you guys in your high school years?
Hannan.
Just you.
Was it?
Yeah.
Not in our year. Can't remember, can you?
I can't remember.
No, in our year. No, definitely not.
No.
Yeah.
So, first couple of years, I used to see them because obviously I couldn't speak English properly at first. So I was in like set 3, set 4 sort of thing. I was thinking,
We have some rowdy ones in 10 years.
yes, I was thinking, yalla, like, you know, is this how it is? And I was like, I couldn't wait until I break time because that's when I see them, lot. The civilized lot.
Well, these guys are civilized.
Yeah,
so,
because, like the ones that I actually chill with.
Yeah.
So only break time, lunchtime,
yeah.
I'll
And
see them.
And
Home time, I'll go back. But as soon as I enter, because then I started like slowly progressing. But Oppo,
yeah, of course.
yeah, he knew my family very well. So I used to go to homework classes there as well. That helped me as well.
Yes, brilliant.
Because I think he did. He was gonna do something, and he wanted me to go to the event. And but I don't know. Did it happen?
Yeah, on Saturday.
No, about a couple of years ago, he was gonna do it in town hall. There was an event
to talk about people who have come to
benefited from.
Yeah, no, it's- I think,
I don't know if it happened or not.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, I went to it.
All right, okay. I was supposed to go there, but something came up. I didn't go. But because I genuinely did benefit from it.
I think we all did, man. We all
Because all these like computers there, homework classes. Mrs. Sheridan is to come.
It was a safe environment that everybody felt comfortable in, and we progressed through that as well because the teachers that came along were also
good teachers. Really
awesome.
good teachers.
One thing I
And
was like, if you don't mind, what I remember about you, you're a left-handed badminton player.
Oh yes.
Yeah, so
How can I forget him? I used to play badminton with him.
Yeah.
1 point. Yes, I am.
So that used to boggle my mind, the left-handedness, because you're not ready for that.
Geniuses, only
you left-handed?
the unique people become
Are you left-handed
left-handed.
generally then, or is it?
No, so I was left-handed when I came to UK. That's another thing I changed.
Okay.
I tried. Yeah.
Is that, so
How do you do that?
Oh, yeah,
Because-
how extras then, or
Right.
do you use both? Or?
No, so I do everything with my left hand in terms of like this is my dominant hand. Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
But writing I do with my right hand.
Okay.
I
That's
switched
unusual.
in Baden.
Really?
Because I saw these guys write with their right hand. That's one of the, I don't know why I've done it, but I thought, I need to do this to fit in. Because one of the things I was conscious about, I do want to stand out in terms of buying clothes, just trying to fit in.
Yeah.
So you're
Just trying to look the same. Like just say
But
if it's
you,
weird,
but
if
you
it's
knew that right from that age that I need to do something to fit into this group.
Yeah. So
Okay.
mentally,
He was just an immigrant trying to integrate, bro.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Isn't it? That's all
I was trying to integrate. Yeah.
handwriting, man.
Right-handed simulation.
Yes, look at the effort I was putting. That's the courage. Look, this is what we go through.
Hannah, your left-handedness in Bangladesh, were you using your left-handed predominantly then?
I try with my left.
So what did they say in Bangladesh with your left-handed?
No, nobody said anything to me.
Really? Okay, I was surprised.
My friend Taz is left-handed. He writes, but obviously I made that switch.
So moving through your high school years, when did you really feel like, oh, I'm one of the boys now?
To be honest, from get-go, I felt like.
No, what I mean is you can speak English, you understand the
All
lingo.
right,
you
okay,
can joke,
about later on, year 9, end of year 9, I would say.
before you started doing it.
Probably when you got into a fight, innit?
Yeah, that happened a lot. Another thing what happened was, I didn't just go to school and go home.
Yeah.
I did everything with them.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I was like an outsider because whatever they did, I did.
I'm gonna go in here as well. I'm gonna say, look, every other year group, they were kind of different, and we did look after the people.
Yeah, a bit more
before
civilized.
us, we looked after the year above us. Like, for example, Kalam. Who else here?
I don't know names, boy. It was a crazy group.
Anyway, so they had a smaller group. We kind of
And the year
partnered since year 10, basically.
And the year below us as well, they joined us.
We used to look after everyone, to be honest.
Yeah, so year below us and the year above us was combined into our group.
Because I just want to add as well, because obviously we did get bullied from a lot. There was a lot of bullying from
Salik, basically.
No, from Pakistanis.
Was it
We used to
Pakistani?
get bullied
Really?
in the beginning.
Oh, okay.
And then we.
Oh, I missed that.
We came to a point. Yeah, you were there. But
I didn't feel it. Like
They were in the same sets as you, though. That's
Yeah,
the
but
thing.
from all of them, they used
from
to.
the elder Pakistani
Okay,
peer
maybe.
groups.
Oh yes,
All right.
yeah.
You know, they used to come and take cigarettes off us and take out whatever anyway.
Yeah.
So we used to get. So then once they left, or you know, then we thought, no, this ain't happening anymore. And the Pakistanis down here, they knew it. The white people in our way,
Yeah, because that's why I said
it's
year
like they
9.
come to us if there was any other issues around. They should come to us, sort it out. You know.
Yeah, but that's why I said year 9. That's when I started like noticing things. But by then we already established. You know, nobody really messes with us.
So how did you get on in your GCSEs then?
Mixed results. I did alright-ish. For what I thought I could do.
And
What
your
about
intention?
what you wanted? Is it what you wanted?
Yeah, so education wasn't like top of my list because, like I said, my first
Where you
priority
came from.
was to fit in. I didn't have anyone educated in my family sort of to monitor me, what I'm up to, how am I doing. When I left school, you guys were the guys who people talked about. You and Farouk myself, because you guys did really well in Burnley College.
Yeah.
So then that's sort of like, so you know what, we need to go college. We need to do something. Yeah, and then we also Youth on Unity. That helped me a lot.
Yeah.
Because remember we did drama classes.
So for those people who at home don't know what Youth on Unity was, Youth on Unity was an organization that myself, Bukhari, was part of. We actually set it up when we were about 18, maybe 19 years old. And it was all about, because we were so much involved into youth work, into community development, we decided, why don't we set up something that the young people can continue to come to outside of the youth club, what we call the youth club. And so we set up an organization that was mainly based around arts, food, cooking, outdoor education, all of that kind of stuff. And we kind of ran it voluntarily, probably for the best part of about 10 years, I would say. But within those 10 years, people like Hannan came through, people like Yogi came through. And it wasn't a case of, oh, we needed to work with them because they had an issue. It was just a space that we created where everybody could feel like anybody can come and just have fun. So Tuesday nights in the youth club was our night, where we just used to open up. We used to open up on 6 o'clock in the evening.
Jeff used to do cooking.
He used to get the kids into the kitchen. We used to do a lot of music stuff upstairs. So there was so much that was going on, and it wasn't about we need to work with these kids because they needed help. It was a case of let's provide a space that everybody can come to and just be together. Be together, have that unity, have that. They're going to kick off with each other and play football and sports and all of that kind of stuff.
That was some of the best memories about my life, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
I can still remember Hannan. Remember the Jerry sitting in the show?
Yeah.
I'm doctor also, professor. And then Hannan, we did the rush hour.
Yeah.
That looks like cigarette. So yeah.
That line, you know what? That line
is a classic.
stuck with me because everybody says it.
So
It looks like
this is the
cigarette.
drama. This is from the
Drama classes,
We kind of replicated the Bengali version of rush hour. So Hannan's line was.
He was a snooker place scene, innit?
Yeah.
So
he walks in.
That looks like cigarette. But
I was the guy who was smoking the weed, didn't he?
For camera.
safeguarding issue.
It's those things that we'd love to take our audience back to as well, and the people who are listening, because there's going to be a lot of people sitting at home thinking, oh yeah, I remember going to the youth club, not in the Burnley area, but I'm saying just generally, because those kind of services or activities, they don't actually exist anymore because all the youth centers are gone. But to think that you had this group of friends in your school life, and outside of a school, you had organizations like what we set up to think, you know what, I can go from one home to another home, and we're all together, we're all doing the same thing together. Moving from your high school years, then going into your college years, what was that like?
Yeah. So college, by then I was, I didn't feel like an outsider or anything.
Fully integrated.
Even during school, like boarding years, because school, after school, even eat shopping, going out, doing stuff. Yeah. I was involved always, and obviously within our groups, there was friends that were like, wanted to do extreme stuff. And some of them, they just generally just stayed within Stonium area and youth center, just just out and about locally, basically. Yeah.
Hannan, before you move on there, let me ask you then, like, alhamdulillah, it sounds as though your experience was good because of your friends.
Yeah.
But you can't have been all like easy. Can't have been all plain sailing.
No, it wasn't.
What was the most like? Is there one incident from your youth or from you slowly integrating and assimilating, right? Was there one thing that stands out to you? Maybe I don't know. I don't know, like push you that way, but maybe there was some racism you faced. Maybe you were like, oh man, how am I gonna deal?
Yeah. So obviously, because at first I didn't understand it, so I didn't know what was going on in terms of if they were, because I didn't know what they were saying at first. Then, because I was insulated by my friends, I wasn't there on my own anywhere. So if anything happened, I was always within the group.
Protection.
Yeah. So we did get into fights. Even remember Thursday late night shopping. McDonald's fight. Yeah. It was like Asian versus non-Asian. We were involved in them fights in year 11. What they called? Them, without saying white. White students.
Caucasians.
Remember near the library we had the fight
in Borden.
Borden.
Oh
English. Yeah, it was like our group versus their group.
It was a full-on kind
of. Was like a racial type thing.
Yeah, because obviously
because they said something about being and things like that.
Yeah. So, but because I was part of a group, it didn't hurt me as much because I just felt like they're saying it to all of us.
You had each other's back.
Yeah, that's it. So, so I don't have any memories of anyone saying anything bad to me like that. But there was bad memories where people they bullied me. They said names.
I didn't bully nobody.
No, but they called me. But this is what kids do. I did it to the other kids, and they did it to me.
I don't think the bullying. I wouldn't call it.
They weren't
making fun of people. These people would make fun of everyone.
Exactly. But I did it to the kids
because he was from Bangladesh, and we knew that some people would pick that out and
so everyone gets picked for different things.
They would use those words that a lot of people use, like freshie and mangi. That's the things I kind of.
So like even with my friends, as I was progressing sort of to where I am now. So in Borden, I had friends that I was close to, and then in college, I had basically different friends.
New friends.
But no,
from the same circle. What is it? Look, their group was so big.
I've sort of graduated.
So in high school, he might have been with Yogi and two others and got close to them. But from that same group, he realized that once he got into college, he was close with the other three.
So basically, like some of the friends that I'm really close with now, I never thought I would be close with them in Borden days.
So they used to smell like
something like that.
He's with the very posh ones now.
No. Okay, I would explain it this way.
Regression.
Okay, progress.
He's pulling up the line.
It's a hierarchy system like that.
The way I would explain it is basically, I think in my head anyway, I stayed on my path and they just came and They're like Qayyum, for example. He came and then he did his own thing. But he went and then he came back and then he went again, sort of thing. He's doing his own thing.
He did his own thing.
So there were some friends that stayed with me throughout the whole process. Even when I did stuff, they were always there.
But I will say this as well, Hannan, that I've always had your back, whether you knew
of course.
Behind the background. Because I was the kind of leader of our group.
Just say it. Calm down. No. I have lots of memories with Kai. Even remember we used to order millenniums and go to his house and he we did lots of things. Because you know what it is, myself, one of the main thing with me fitting in was the main thing that most of them had was, although we all joked about, did things, but deep inside they knew like right and wrong and they had good like manners.
Yeah. Good.
Whoa, man.
Principle, basically.
That's because of me. I'm telling you, I was
Some of my core friends, yeah, I'm still close to them. Yeah. And they still hold that same value that I share with them. So because of this shared values and shared like the way we were brought up, mannerism and kunta khar samne khorta hai, all this kind of stuff.
I think it's really important to recognize that. I'll tell you why. Look, say for example, my friend circle, we're all still very much together. We very rarely see each other. But we know principally, I think we still got the same beliefs, the fundamental right and wrong, religiously, culturally. We understand all of that about us. Maybe now what somebody likes to watch anymore or which football team they support, those things can differ. But fundamentally, knowing that they know the difference between right and wrong, they know how to look after their elders, look after the young ones. But anytime they did, kind of wave a little bit away from there, the friends were always bringing them back to say, look, you can go a little bit here and there, but you can't go to the fringes because we need to stay on this particular path.
Definitely.
And I think every friend circle definitely has that about them. So whether I see somebody for a year or not, we know fundamentally that either namaz is at that time and we're all going to be there and we're going to see each other for 5, maybe 10 minutes and we know that's what's going to happen. And these kind of things are quite important because now what that's done, that friendship and that circle has shaped you to become the person that can now go and lend some of your support because you're in that position now to go back and give that support. So I think that's really important. But moving through those college years, because right now, you've told us about when you were 11 and working through, finding friends, high school years. Now that you're approaching this adulthood and you are kind of almost the man of the house, how did your life then pan out when it was like, shit, I got to really take up responsibility now?
Yeah, so although I was doing stuff already through the college, high school days, college days, because...
How old were you when you got your first job then?
19, Asda.
Oh.
So
You were there for ages.
Yeah, I remember.
yeah, because I was always there part time.
That first visit when he came off the plane.
Yeah, so Asda, why I got the job. Even when I was in the college, like nobody actually took me. Like get a part-time job. Yeah, because like. Some of my friends, they were working in takeaways restaurant. Yeah. That's why I was saying to you before, I don't know how I landed it here, like in this trade. Because I was never involved, like until I got involved. Like there wasn't any
like a part-time
period. There wasn't any like progression, like because I never in my head I thought I'll be working. I didn't even have a clue, like what exactly happened. I know my friends, they used to work takeaways restaurant part-time. But I never did it. So my first job was Asda. And only reason I got that job because I passed my driving then. I needed to pay my insurance. Because we had EMA
What was your
then.
first car?
It was Astra, silver Astra.
That's it.
Yeah, so I crashed that in Liverpool when I was at uni. That's evidence I went to uni. Somebody said,
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
So, that was my first car, and and also with driving, there was like a competition at one point with our friends. Like there was, it's nobody admitted it, but Buzag said that bitre. Yes, as soon as one guy started passing, boom, 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 we just like loads of us.
Get the subwoofers out.
But because of the
Who was the first?
Who was the first of us?
I think it's
but because of the age, it was. I think Afterburn passed.
It might have been something like that.
And then you got your 6
because of the age, they were 18 before us.
Because you gotta
So
remember
they were
we
taking
had, like,
lessons.
mobiles and all of that. So the cars were the thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so
he had Bengali remixes instead.
they passed. I think Jayo, but he's older than us.
He's a bit older,
Yeah, 1 year older than. But Afterburn, I think, was first, and then Sadiq, then me.
Sadiq had a Ford Focus, remember, black one.
Yeah.
Navy blue
So
one.
me and
Navy
Sadiq,
blue.
we sort of like passed within a month or so. We used to take lesson like similar time, and I started taking lesson with Kashir Bhai.
And
I took lesson with him because you were taking lesson with him.
can I say as well, you used to flex on Dane's House Road with the loudest music, waking you up at
What do you have?
God knows what time.
What music was it? Bangla.
All that
Bangla
stuff, yeah.
Bangla remixes.
That's what it was, yeah.
So I did all that stuff that they did, yeah. And I felt like this is who I am, like this is what I do, and this is what everybody does. So I even honestly, I bought a car, you know, kitted up the, you know, like put proper kit on it, system,
I think.
and then I bought
do you not put a K and an air filter on it?
No.
yeah, of course, 5 bhp gives you. Yeah, it says on eBay. Or you know what I should do? I should write my car name and just go for a list of things I can buy.
But what kind of freedom do you think that gave you then? Did it give you a new sense of freedom where?
So it's deep down, it's all about fitting in, sort of, and enjoying that process. So because this is what everybody did, and then I started liking it, and then it became my own thing.
Because you felt like that was the trend.
Yeah, but then when I started doing it, I started liking it. I didn't know it was in me, but then I started liking it, and then I was like, whoa, this is quite cool, you know, kitting up in cars, and you know, it's because you don't admit it, you just do something because it's a trend.
So, you know, each step of the way in what you're saying up until now, there's a sense of achievement at the end of it as well.
Yeah.
So you getting into a friend circle, you understanding what the trend, the culture is, a sense of achievement, you moving on from school into the college years thinking that you want to do something, then this whole idea of passing. Is this sense of it, because you know, us guys being born and brought up in this country, we feel as though this is just something that's the norm, that's the root. Do you still at some point still think, because I've come from Bangladesh, this now, for me to achieve this will be that sense of, oh, I'm actually doing something for myself?
Yeah, so because the way it all happened, to me, I don't know when it happened, but I started feeling like this is who I was. I've like properly converted.
Fully.
Fully. Like I don't have like the Hannan from Bangladesh. I've kind of lost it.
So when did that happen? When did you feel that?
So even with communication, I find it easier to communicate in English than Bengali.
Okay.
That's the crazy thing.
That's very important. This is really important
because you know, sometimes I'm looking for the right word, but even in Bangla I can't express myself properly, but in English I can.
Okay.
So that's how much I've gone to the other side.
So I don't mean this in a rude way, but you kind of sold out, right?
Yes. Fully. Yeah, but in terms of principle, I haven't.
We got a banging car together, though, so you know.
Well, you know, it's really crucial. You know, right now in politics in this country, they keep talking about integration, assimilation. You've come into another Bangladeshi community, because look, Sonium was predominantly Bangladeshi, right?
Yeah.
You come into another Bangladeshi community, even though you know you're Bangladeshi yourself, but you've now fully integrated into that community where the previous community that you've come from, you don't feel that much connected to it anymore. How often do you go to Bangladesh?
I've just been in January, but I went for a different reason. But before that, there was a gap. 2012.
Okay, 2012.
Yeah, but it's not because I didn't want to. It's for financial reason, family, and I got involved in takeaway business.
Let me ask you this then. You know, when was the first return trip to Bangladesh?
2006.
So how many years after?
7 years.
7 years. So not too long.
Yeah, but you know, going back to that, because obviously my mom was financing everything, so it wasn't easy for us to straight away go back.
Of course.
Yeah, so it cost a lot of exactly.
But you know that you were going back to Bangladesh. You knew that you were going back to the place that you kind of came from.
But I do enjoy, like when I got there, I do like when somebody says I'm fully sold out, I still have connections there.
Did you feel like
I still like my childhood and everything else. Did you
feel like a tourist, or did you?
Tell us about that.
No. I did feel like
you belong.
Yeah, I knew what to do, and like I knew the system basically.
It's like Bangladesh.
Yeah, so I've got best of both worlds sort of thing. But also, like, I forgot I was gonna say something to you when you were talking. I'll come back to me.
So good, douche.
Yeah.
Come on.
No. Before that.
Let me ask you again then. So 2007, 2003. Sorry, you went back first time. After 7 years.
Yeah.
You went back, is it this year?
Yeah, in January.
Bangladesh is very different, right? Do you still know the system, or is it all different?
I enjoyed it this time a lot more because I was like the adult now.
But did you feel like
I control most.
Did you feel like a tourist then?
Yeah, but they treated me like a tourist because I've I've gone from another country, and the treatment that I got.
So even what you're saying is even they now recognize you as a fully fledged British person.
Yeah. So whenever they talk to me, they're like, okay, he might not understand it because he went when he was small. So they'll speak to somebody next to me, or like sort of giving me an excuse basically to say, okay, he can make a mistake. But although I didn't, but just to give you an example, he's okay because he's from another culture sort of thing. You know, but I'll be honest with you, I don't remember everybody by their names because when you're small, you don't remember people by their names, you remember their faces. So when they were coming up to me and saying they were Tanana Mota, I'm like, okay, I'm Sindam now, boy. Who you related to? Do I know you're somebody that you're related to?
So how important do you think it is now for you to give your children that connection to Bangladesh, or do you think it's?
No, definitely. You should have. It's a privilege to be able to understand both culture and have a. You can't. You know, some people they'll tell you, you know, you have to choose. You don't.
Which one?
But going back to what I was saying to you, I find it easier to communicate in English, and I'm Bangla sort of like, you know, I have to think about it.
Not fully
That's it. So even with my kids now, but I mean intentionally Bangla Mati. Because Amra Zemla Bangla Mati, even like my friends that were here, they spoke better Bangla than I did.
Okay.
You know, like people like
look, that is a surprising thing. A lot of the times when we go and travel in Bangladesh, when we start talking, so many people have come to me. Obviously, I get involved in the culture there, the celebration, all of that kind of stuff. And then you start
talking. It's like yourself, sorry to interrupt. You're Mr. Bangladesh.
No, but what I'm saying is, you know,
you're brought up here, but amount of stuff you know. But Bangladeshi people don't know.
If you ask Yoga, he'll tell you.
And Qayyum, sorry to interrupt. He was Mr. Bangladesh. He just carry red and green pen with him all the time.
Hear this though. If you ask him, when we travel together, and we have done in the past, there are people that ask us, "Oh, tumi kundin London ge slaiba?" I'm like, "What are you on about?" He goes, "No. So when did you move to England?" So I never moved to England. I was born there. They can't believe that our Bangla is so good that we understand these different dialects. We've traveled around and the entire country. We sometimes know some areas and locations better than they do. We're more courageous than them even when we're traveling in their country. Because look, I'm brother, you're gonna go 824 now switch it again. And we do it. You know, look, one day, if you ask Yogi, the last time we went to Bangladesh together, in one day we hit 4 different airports in 4 different cities and still came home that night. Yeah, in one day, because you can do it. Go to Sylhet.
But they're so laid back. They want to do one thing at a time.
In Bangladesh, there is this culture where if you can get somebody to do one task that day, give him a pat on the back. If it's done to Allah, Ya Allah. You should really say. Do you get what I mean? But that's the point, isn't it? For you now to have your children go back to Bangladesh, do you feel as though you want to give them this?
Definitely.
You know, have this link. Not a case of, oh, I'm going, so you have to come with me. Is it a case of that, or is it a case of, look, go to Bangladesh and start building that connection with the country?
But so, end of the day, it doesn't matter what happens to you and how you mentally develop. End of the day, this is your identity gonna be that. You can't change your outside.
But some people believe they're English.
No, man, I don't think I'm English.
Okay, maybe with your routine you can do. Yeah, that's fine.
Some people think they're English.
Some people.
Not me.
I'm gonna say who, but someone.
Some people.
Because this is was that 10?
Hey?
Was that episode 10?
That was 11. That was in the green room, yeah?
Check out episode 10 or 11. Culture was. Check it out.
So my point is, you don't want to be in middle. You understand? Because if you don't understand both sides, then you're going to be lost at some point.
Is it important though?
It is.
How important?
Why I say it's important, it sort of gives you values, your manners, the way we speak to people, even look, you guys are older than me, but I find it awkward to even call you by your name.
We're not that much older. And
I know, but I'm just saying, that came from me because obviously, from Bangladesh, but if I was maybe born here, I would have probably called you by your name. But I did at some point, but then I intentionally changed it because I thought, No, it's like it's a respecting. So obviously it's not that important, but it sort of gives you structure.
Can I ask you one
in your mental?
How old are your kids at the minute then?
2 and 4.
And how have they received like you trying to instill Bengali?
So at the moment they're confused.
Yeah.
Because tara ek minute word, in cook, kak, sa tea, like ekdin coin bath, ekdin coin rice. She's probably thinking.
But children,
they probably one language, but it's just different words.
Children are so great; they absorb these things very quickly.
That's what I'm trying to get in.
Like in my family, my eldest nephew and niece, both of them, their dad was a British Bangladeshi and the mum was Algerian French. So they had 4 languages to kind of deal with. And then living here in the UK, moving over to France, living over there. And then the different cultures, because when they're in France, there's a French and the Algerian culture. When they're here in the UK, it's a British and then the Bangladesh. So but then them growing up, they have all of that they've absorbed. So that child's life experience must be compared to the average school kid. Is like, whoa, you've been born and brought up in 4 different cultures. Can you imagine having couscous with, hatoran goose?
Yeah, but I don't know what you guys think, but do you guys think it's an advantage?
100%.
Yeah,
because look, you can.
Question is answered there.
Look, maybe.
Let me ask you this one though. So no, I'm not going to Spanish.
We're here to discuss.
Go for it.
Let me ask you this. So you said that the culture, it gives you values, isn't it? Yeah.
Obviously, we have religion. That's the main overall umbrella.
Yeah. About culture, as in like I know you're Muslim and
that's it. Yeah.
We both, isn't it?
Yeah.
The question I'm trying to ask you though is, like your for your children. Is that the reason why you want to make them or give them a strong sense of being Bangladeshi? Because obviously, to me, you've experienced that. Look,
Yeah.
So
no, I'm not just to anyone watching. I'm not saying that's the only way you can learn Bangladeshism and being respectful. Yeah. So I'm saying this is what I got when I was growing up.
But is that the case? Is that what happens? Is that what you want to do?
So no, one of the main reason I'm doing this now is because English and being in England and British way of life, they're gonna get that anyway. They're here. Like they're gonna experience that as soon as they leave the house or even at home. So that's given. So both the Bangladesh side, being Bangladeshi,
for that
they're gonna get it from me, the parents, because they're not gonna get it from anywhere else.
Okay, no, hold on. Just before we forget, I don't want to miss this point. You know what we're saying, that we're gonna give that to our kids. Did you know that when we were younger, in our home was fully Bangladeshi, because English was our second language, whereas now for these kids, Bangla is their second language. So I think there's a little bit of flip-flop going on here. When we were younger, another she's in the kitchen, master khatra e khora, shobe hali bangla mater Bangladesh mother phone khora or
arguments happening,
all of that. So when we went into school, a lot of people might find this surprising. When we went into school, how many of us actually knew the alphabet A to Z?
How many English?
How many of us could count in English 1 to 10? That was taught to us. Now kids are going into school with that knowledge already there, because CBBS and Mr. Tumble and Peppa Pig is kind of given a little bit of that education before they've even entered into school. But then, are we delaying the cultural side of education in their life?
What do you mean delaying the cultural side?
So are we doing it right from day one, or are we doing it when they get to 7, 8, 9, 10? Ilan Bangla Matina, like you got loads of kids saying, Abba tu aidini. You get what I mean? Ammai disena. You get what I mean? So this kind of stuff, are we delaying that too much now?
It's funny you say that, Salik. So my daughter today, bearing in mind she's 15, she goes, Dad, I just realized I've been saying Tumi to my nanny, saying Tumi idol lagi kita. I should be saying Afnai kita. And it's only today, 15 years old, that she's got that realization.
Another thing, I don't know how.
Yeah, that's your fault.
It's not my fault. I've been instilling that. But kids these days, they reject it. They don't think it's cool.
Yeah, but we need to make that. That's
my point. Enforce it. But the more you enforce it, the more they reject it.
Okay, so if your kid could speak French, for example, would you hide that?
No, of course not.
You'll be like, oh, Amar Foito French Matavare.
Yeah, of course.
You'll lift him up. You'll mention it everywhere. Even the kid will say, I can speak French. So why, when it comes to Bangla, why are they like, I'm Bangla to bishi Matafari na hoya. Yeah, Fartamna. Why are they shy? Why are they think this is a cool thing to do?
Maybe it's our expectation on them.
No, but another thing I think, because they see it as like a, or in fact, if they see it as like a, it's a downer. Like somehow by knowing Bangla, proper Bangla, you are not British, you know.
Yeah, no, I don't see
like
that.
Because mentally they're trying to become
the thing is
almost trying to say I'm educated here. I'm English, I've got PhD in English, and that's it. I'm British.
Or maybe
Bangla is like, if I know Bangla, it's like.
It's not on me.
Yeah, it's a stain on me, unfortunately.
Not only that, I think maybe sometimes.
So we need to reverse that.
Maybe for some young people, they don't feel as though their cultures are actually that important where I do need to learn it. So they forget it. The parents don't push on it. But then when it does come to a time where, because look, end of the day, Hoyo, at one time or another, they have to get with the family. They have to get with the shomas, what we call the community. When at that point they don't really know how to conduct themselves, that's when it reflects back on the parent in some instances, not all, where
Can I ask more like this question? I just know I had a spanner in the website.
Throw that spanner.
It's just to flip it on its head.
Yeah, go
flip it on the head, which is, I think, this is my opinion, that some young people tara shurumaya Bangla Mathis-Na, right? Because they feel not shame, but they feel as though they're not living up to that standard, right? I'll give you an example, right? It's because, you know, if a kid learns a few words of French, oh, Dad, look, I know how to say this in French, I know how to say this in German, because they've achieved something a little bit, isn't it? Right? But with our kids, we always admonish them, do it like this, do it like this. You know what I mean?
They feel like they could never get to their parents' level. So they just think, you know what, I'm not going to even try it. I'll just sit there. I know what you mean.
But let's flip that again.
Well, you have to encourage that though.
No, I'm just saying that we need to just be mindful of that.
We need mindful.
That's fair enough. But what we're doing is we're catering here now. Isn't being able to speak Sylhet something that should be so standard as, look, I'm not going to all of our children, majority of the time, we know that in the house there will always be rice and curry cooked there. It's a standard thing.
Yeah.
Bangla, being able to speak Sylhet should also be standard. Let me give you an example, yeah? Shadagus khaite ni na khalagus khaite. Yeah? The whole idea of us eating fish, we know that you can't eat fish with a spoon, a knife or a fork. So you have to get your hands dirty. The amount of young people that we now know that when they go to eat rice and curry, they're picking up a spoon. They're not doing it the traditional way. But I mean, addi mahaya amida haimune. Amda age to young thate. Mahaitam jodi fartam na, because we've caught our finger or something's happened, our moms used to do the mahani for us. Yeah? Now it's ball man that. Now it's a case of ad bala tahlo o ge spoon dihar, ad bala tahlo ge fork dihar. You know, there's certain things that should be just basic, like standard, that once this kid learns to speak, English will be there 100%, don't get me wrong, and it has to be there because that's the life that they're going to live. But shouldn't Bangla and Sylhet be just as important as learning English?
Of course. So, 2-3 points on that. It's changing slowly. There's a few TikTokers, they started like English people, they're learning Sylhet. There's books out as well that you can buy. So, these influencers, like you guys and all they're pushing it, and it's becoming cool again.
So check this out. Before, like in our house, my children, they speak Sylhet. My son does, my daughter does. Maybe not to the level that I'd like them to be, but they can do it. They understand it fully. I think it was about 6-7 years ago when I went to Bangladesh. I went and enrolled myself into a college course. My son joined me and his cousin joined us as well, where they learned how to... in Bangladesh. They were there just for the 4 weeks. I enrolled them on because I also wanted to learn as well. We can now read and write in Sylhet, not in Bangla, in Sylhet, because Sylhet has its own alphabet. It has its own numerical system. It has its own... Sylhet is not known as a dialect, guys. It's actually a language in itself. It had its own printing press. When we speak, we're actually speaking Sylhet. But how many of us have actually seen Sylhet written? Yeah, but obviously it's a dying language.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost extinct.
It's like Welsh in this in this
exactly
context.
like that.
Because although local people, some of them they know it, but it's dying slowly.
No, it's been revived. Wales is a really good. Welsh is a really good example. For a long time, it was dying, and then they made the people in Wales, particularly the Welsh, like the council and the government, they made a big effort to bring it back.
So like in Sylhet, so they need to push that from their side as well. So obviously English is the main language.
Yeah.
You know, to get a job, to even work in government or whatever, you need to learn that. In Bangladesh, you have to learn Shubda Bhasha to get a proper job.
So now check this out. Even in Sylhet, there's many people, to their children, they speak to them in Shuddha, not in Sylheti.
Yeah, because the catering, like getting them ready.
It's another mindset.
Yeah, so
it's like, oh, nah, tumi Shuddhoi ko, tumhar Sylheti ekbar kono dorkar nai.
So before you made the point about we just catering for them basically. We're changing our language so that tara lagi comfortable. For the kids. So sometimes like you said, eating with spoon. Sometimes we just think we just do one like if it's comfortable, do it.
It's
Sorry, one. So one more thing. So if that happened to me, like going back to my experience, if that happened to me, if you guys started catering for me, I would have not learned English, or even in school, if they started like catering for me, or let's get an interpreter for it, all that stuff. They just throw me out there in a normal classroom. Tough love. And that's it. And that forced me.
Swim or sink.
That's it. So we have to do that with our kids.
I know, but not everyone has yoga to do that.
Well, moving on.
I'm just saying, like everybody, like the friends. When I was around, they spoke as they like I'm like just normal. So I just started talking like that. Because one word, I know people gonna take Mickey out of me. One word took the longest for me to learn.
What's that?
Was thingy.
I didn't know how to use it.
I didn't know how to use it. Because everybody kept on using it. Thingy, I was like, what the hell is thingy?
So the Bengali version is Zobe.
But he was a gap filler. When they were looking for the right word, they used that. But I couldn't I didn't know the meaning because they'll say something else after it. And the first time I used it was to Mr. Holland. Mr. Holland was looking for me, So where the bottom reception is. So everybody goes to the class. I came late from lunch for some reason, Came in and he goes, where have you been? Why you not in class? Like the way he talks. Remember Mr. Holland is very strict. I said, sir, thingy, I said, thingy. And he goes, thingy? He said, thingy? Go to your class. Because I kept on saying thingy, I was like,
there was a bit of racism as well from one of the teachers. I remember DT.
Mr. Thornton.
He did. I can't remember the phrase.
But I'm Buchina, so to me I didn't feel it.
Or sending you back or something like that.
But I didn't understand it, so he was alright. Later on, somebody else told me, but I didn't understand.
But that was your perception. You're not making any statements.
No, he was dodgy.
Allegedly.
Quick question.
Good.
Obviously, I've said my experience. This, I don't know how. We'll talk about how I got here. How did you guys see me? When you saw me at Youth and Unity, obviously you remember, I was part of a big group.
Yeah, so I can say that because we were part of the leadership then.
But obviously I didn't stand out as much, but I don't know how much you noticed me then.
No, we clearly noticed it. You know why? Because you were one of those tall kids. And then not only that, you also stood out, and I don't mean this in the wrong way. We always have that very, very clear, picture of he's from back home. The way you used to wear your pants, the way you used to wear your shirt, the way you used to walk. It was very thingy. Look, as far as I can remember,
change.
Look, as far as I can remember, you always was the kid that wore a half shirt. I don't know why you used to do that. Or
I don't know actually.
Yeah, I can. When you were younger, when you used to come, and the other thing was you were always good at sports.
Yeah.
You were always good. You know, when we used to watch you, your movement was different. You had you know, it's like the saying when we go back home. Oh, these kids come from England. They go to Rome. You go to the Fartonai. They do Failibo.
So I was a typical Bengali kid.
So you know, when you guys used to come, it's like we always knew as well. Like there was this one kid in our year group that came from Bangladesh. They could all swim where we were being taught to swim.
Who was it? Who was it?
No, I can't tell you who it was, yeah? So they could all swim, but their swimming wasn't like, you know how we do the crawling? It was always like the doggy paddle under the water and then moving forward. But you guys could always do those kind of things, whereas we were like having to learn that kind of stuff. So I'm like I said, like Sizamon, even though we knew better than you, but you guys were a bit more courageous than us. With Hannan, when you used to come through, you were part of playing football with the guys. I always remember you had like proper white teeth. Yeah, because obviously he had a dot complexion. He always had proper white.
Remember Shout? There was a program. I used to be involved with that a lot.
So you know, in that sense, but then I recognize you even more because you used to come to the homework club because we used to be there all the time. For us, we never went to do homework. We just went and found that as a space where we could all get together. And you used to come through.
So Alex took it as an opportunity to bully people.
No, it wasn't that. It was just being in every single community situation that we could be in. But I never heard you get into a fight or be rude to somebody. There was other kids that came from Bangladesh who was a lot more cocky. Yeah, they used to always come out and get into trouble. But you were a bit more relaxed. You were a bit more kind of straight.
That training we gave you, innit?
Yeah, it's that training that they gave.
But you know, deep down, some of the things like even in Bangladesh, like I've never got into like big trouble or. And I always found it like it's not a normal thing for me. And even when I had the opportunity to do, bad things here even, because obviously I didn't have older brother, nobody could like check what I was up to. I had the opportunity to do stuff. But I didn't do it. I don't know, it just wasn't in me. Like even like when it came to like smoking and stuff.
In your mannerisms, in everything. You could tell that really, you're a good lad.
I couldn't. But although I was like that, but it didn't stop me from going to places with friends. I experienced doing everything.
That's mischief. As in like.
So when you my friends did their own stuff, but I was with them. But I didn't do it.
You didn't engage.
But I still felt
your boys did things that they weren't supposed to be doing. Which is
maybe, maybe
not. But anyway, moving on to the world of business.
Okay.
Obviously, you've left school, you've left college, you've got this job in ASHA, which we used to see you at all the time. And you've not had that build up to the Indian restaurant trade or the takeaway trade. Why then all of a sudden did you decide?
Why we sat here, man?
Yeah, this is your establishment.
So this is genuinely by accident.
Wrong door. You went to the wrong door.
Yeah, basically.
You guys thought I'm going to stay here. Shouldn't have said.
Yeah, I had no idea how I ended up here. So, when I went to Bangladesh in 2012. So I've come back. I'm still in ASHA, and one bad thing about ASHA, although he gave me everything, is I felt like he held me back. Because I was comfortable. He didn't push me. I was just getting by. He paid for my expenses, and that's it. If I needed extra money, I did overtime. That's it. But like looking back now, I could have done more things. And I could have maybe done with the training. Anyways, maybe. But takeaway happened. Basically, my brother-in-law and somebody else, they opened the takeaway in Lee. So initially, I went there to help, and then they sort of like started getting me to do stuff. They
groomed you.
Yeah, because they couldn't speak English properly. So I started all the documents and paperwork, all that I started doing. And then basically they groomed me.
Another one. This is a helpline for this.
They groomed me into like, why don't you become a partner?
Okay.
And then that's it.
So you became a partner over there first?
Yeah.
Before you bought this?
Yeah. Okay, I spent 8 years in Lee.
Okay. So we're still looking at ASHA whilst
so I was doing part-time in ASHA. So I cut my hours and then eventually I only did 1 day. I don't know, I just couldn't leave that place.
Okay.
I knew the people. You just
That was your first love in there.
yeah, so you know the people, I just felt like, you know, when I went there, it was like a refresher. Like, you know, when I go there, it's not work. It just takes me out of my daily routine. And that 1 day, it wasn't for money. It just, I go there and I see everybody. And I just couldn't leave. You know, people from outside, they might think, yeah, you come with what is that? You know, but at the same time, like deep down, I was hardworking in terms of I knew I had to put the effort in to achieve the things that I want to achieve. Because I don't want to be the one like, you know, just relaxes and then complains about life. You know, some people, they just be like, oh, I'm disadvantaged.
So this idea of you going to Lee and helping them out, what did you know about the trade at that time?
I had nothing. Because they took me as like, he can speak English and he's got education, he can do paperwork, and that's it, customer service from Asda, and he can basically look after the front. Yeah, so I've learned everything on the job.
And how long ago was this now? How long ago is this?
2012.
So what, 14 years?
Yeah, so 8 years, then obviously after 2 years, within a year I think, I became a partner there. And then I started managing and then doing everything.
So how was that? You know, this idea of managing in an Indian takeaway?
So I wanted to ask you guys a few things about like the percent, because I've never been on the other side. Although I was there like first 6-7 months, but because it was a family business, I never felt like a worker. Yeah. So obviously people have lots of experiences, you know, they have lots of stories about, you know, bad bosses, good bosses and all that kind of stuff. I've never had that experience. So from get-go to this day, I've been the boss, basically.
You've never been a worker that's going to work for somebody else.
That's it, in this trade. That's it. So,
that's it.
I've never, or why is customers complaining, or no one told me like, oh, so I was on the other side, so I had to learn how to behave to customers, because I didn't know what was my role. Even the language I used, how strict shall I be? Am I too strict?
With your workers?
Because don't forget, he went in as a boss.
I become a manager, boss, everything, harakara, like quickly. So,
but what is give us your top 3 tips of management?
No, but I want to know, like, obviously,
we can tell you,
So, what's it like from the other side?
Shit.
Like, okay. So, what makes a good boss?
I think
let's hear it from you. Like,
for me,
you guys never worked in?
I have.
Have you?
Okay.
Well, I worked at my brother's.
So that's different.
Okay.
Because don't forget, I've worked with Bukhari in his brother's place, where that was his elder brother's place, but I was an employee there. Again, part-time basis.
Okay.
I'll tell you, do you know what's one of the greatest skills that a boss in an Indian restaurant trade can have? Is to know that my staff member can do the job and I got to leave him to it.
No micromanagement.
You know,
trust, basically.
That trust. Because look, end of the day, there are people that you know that will go in, that will mess about, effort, you know, all of that. But if I was to look at me, I would think that the boss would say, look, Salik, we know him, we know about him, he knows how to do we just need to leave him to it. And the minute you leave that person to it, so long as you trust that person and the person knows that you trust them as well, you'll always do the job above and beyond. But the minute you start picking and choosing and all of that, whether it's directly or indirectly, people, it does pinch you a little bit. It's like, flipping heck, what, you think I can't do this? This is because you know the work itself, it gets so robotic in the Indian trade. Like, you know, the chef, look, this is one thing that I used to say to people that used to work full time. Because I've only always ever gone in part time. It was either 1 day, 2 day, maximum 3 days or something like that. I used to always say to people, yo, how does it feel? Because I don't know this. He goes, what? I said, you go in every day, 5 o'clock or 5 to 5, like bang on that time. You usually come in that time. And the first thing you do is switch the hot plate on. How can you do that for 30 years of your life? Do you understand what I mean?
You don't think about it, innit?
Like every Thursday, one of your staff members is going to come and he knows on Thursday, I got to fill the mint sauce cup. And he's doing that for 12 years. Or 15 or 8, like it's so robotic.
Muscle memory.
That sooner or later
You don't think about it though. It becomes like
Habit.
This is the thing, innit? You know that holding back.
Yeah.
This is all I'm gonna do.
Yeah, that's it.
It's a robotic movement, isn't it? Because there's only one way that you're gonna fill the cup up. If there was 6 different ways,
Yeah, but
then I'd probably enjoy my job.
Even from the management point of view, it becomes like that as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you come in, Monday is one type of work. Weekend is different.
Yeah.
So the way you manage your stuff, also that's it. Just become like you said, a routine.
Yeah.
You come in Friday, you do your salad, whatever, your preparation. They do their backside.
Okay. So now that you're asking that question, tell me about the difficulties that you've had with your staff. Because how do you know whether they've been
what I had to learn was, obviously I was working in ASHA, so I had different experiences there. But I had to guess, like, okay, people used to tell me lots of stories, like the boss was like this, or if something needs to be done, you have to speak like this. But I always had that in my head where if I tell you something, and you should know your responsibility, like you said, going back to that. I shouldn't be like, on the third time, I shouldn't have to tell you again. Do you understand? And
well, how do you know what his job was? Because you've never actually been on that other side to know what the job is.
Yeah, so at first, obviously, I didn't know. I just left them to it. Do you understand? I had no idea.
Not knowing whether they're doing it right or wrong.
Exactly, no. Journey. But then now, what I know now, if I was to go back then, I would have done lots of things differently.
Brilliant.
Do you understand? I've learned so much. Even like being here, I've worked with different team. I had another team over there. And although here, I don't have no family connection. Yeah. Whereas over there, I had family members working there. So it was quite difficult for me to implement what I wanted to do. So I had lots of ideas, but I couldn't really implement them because you can't, you know how it is, family. So you have to be careful with your language as well. Sometimes you have to do like indirectly, like certain things. Maybe you go silent for a bit. Hopefully they get it without being direct to them. And also, like, sometimes you have to show a different way of sending messages. But if they pick it up, it's a good thing. If they don't, then
you find a different way.
So one thing I found the hardest is sacking people. I can't sack people.
Even if they're not doing the job right.
You know what it is? I find that so hard. I still have to learn. Okay, I always make excuses for stuff in my head. If they do something wrong, I'm okay. Maybe you know what? They kill out of them.
Always give somebody another chance.
Because I've like without going into details. So many people I would have loved to get rid of earlier. Even in my old place, even here, I made mistakes. Genuinely, because when I came here, I took the team that was there. So the good things is in my head when I basically came here was I've got like fully skilled, full team ready. They know their jobs. I'm just gonna slot in, carry on the way they left it, and then build on that.
Is that what happened though?
So so what happened was like. It turns out, you know how everybody's gonna take it. I don't mean it in a bad way. Just any places. Even I've listened to other podcasts where bosses have said, I wish I made the changes earlier. So I've gone through that here. So obviously I had to learn a few things here, the routine and everything. But the problem was when I came here, what they were doing is they knew their role. But they, at the same time, they were like, there was pushbacks, like, well, we always doing it like this. Whether it's right or wrong, like, I'm not for you, I'm the Sakai, say, for example. I'm not for you, but I'm the Sakai, but I'm not machine on day, for example. It has all can be so, they'll say that, okay, I check house up, but then I'm noticing like problems, like because too much salary, there's a delay with that. I'm just giving an example. It's a good one. But then that's affecting our preparation. Then it's affecting our orders, and then but there's it's hard to clear.
So you're trying to make the changes for the right reason.
Yeah. But then there's pushback. Okay, we never done that. So there's like you hear that they won't say it to you, but they'll talk about it.
Although it's like saying nobody likes change. Nobody likes
that's it. But whether it's for the right reason or not, but certain things like I would say, look, Imran, if it makes sense, if it improves the system, why not adopt it? Journey. So that wasn't happening. So then at the same time, I had to learn as well the people. How they work under pressure, who I have to tell them in advance, who I can tell them last minute, who I have to manage like a certain way. In terms of preparation, quality control, who'll try it, who wouldn't,
You can speak to a customer,
who I can trust, like you said, you know. So I had to, because obviously they're all new to me.
So I think, look, your journey into like every single department that you're talking about, your changes through you growing up to being this adult, a father, a business owner, a friend, everything has taught you a new thing that you're now kind of reflecting back on and saying, this is making me a better person in this way, making me a better business owner, a better dad, a better brother, a better friend. And I think, this podcast for me is giving us a lot of things to reflect on, because everything that you've gone through, we're almost like spectators of it. But then at the same time, you're also saying, well, you don't have to spectate anymore because I'm one of you guys as well. It's actually quite, do you understand what I mean, Bukhari? It's actually quite cool to say that there is a little bit of, I can push back from you, but then at the same time, I am you as well, though. So, but now that you're in business, the question is, and you've been in business for what, 12 years, 13 years now?
2012.
2012, so about 14 years, What's your plan going forward? Do you want to continue to be a business owner?
Mr. Hannan, tell us what's your master plan?
Genuinely, inshallah, you know what? Genuinely, from purely business perspective, I haven't I couldn't do everything I wanted yet. But even with this place, but personally, I've been dealing with a lot since even just before COVID. My sister who passed away left 4 kids behind, and emotionally I've got 2 kids as well.
It's a demanding
I've got a daughter that I've spoken to Salik before as well. I'm going through that. So I don't know how to change my role. So I'm also thinking, okay, do I need to leave this and maybe get a job where a bit more flexible? Because here, remember, you have to be here at that time.
Yes.
If you're not here that time, you can't make it up on another time. It's not a corner shop. I'll fill the shelf up on another time. You have to be here that
There's
time.
certain things that really need to happen in this trade
That time.
at that particular time. I get you.
Yeah. So, and also like in terms of generally speaking about this trade, I wanted to do few things that I thought, is dying. Sort of the system, the way we been working and the stories that I've been hearing and the staff level, because everybody that hears it, they're like, oh, you're overstaffed. But when it gets busy, everybody's needed. Jenny, so it's like, how do you do that?
It's hard to balance that.
Can I ask you this question? And I should have asked.
But I want to, just before I forget, is what's your view on this trade changing to more like a supermarket, for example? What I was thinking, what I was thinking is, how we hire people as fixed nights, say hours. How about we go to a model where you work hours?
I'll be honest.
I only need you for 5 till 8. I need you to do that job. That's it. You come and do it, clock in, clock out. Because
I agree.
Because the reason I'm saying this, it is very hard right now to make money in this trade.
Can I talk about this? Because I think this is something which we should have talked about when we had Ibrahim here. When you see, it's not a new thing. People in the British courier trade have been saying for years now that there's a big problem with staffing. Right? Some people have said, we need to bring people from abroad. Right? well, they've said, isn't it? That might not be the solution, but they've said that there's a problem, right? For years now, decades, they've said there's a big problem with staffing, and now we're seeing it with our own eyes that little by little, the British curry trade is dying off. People are finding it difficult. Ibrahim Bhai said, look, I can't do this anymore. It's taking too much from me. You're saying very similar things.
I'm genuinely feeling it.
It's taking a lot from me. Let me just quickly finish on this one. So, like, the thing is that I'm not hating but like our community, it will hurt us, of course, because this industry has given our community so much, right? But also it hurts the British society, right? The British Indian curry trade has changed completely the British palate. It's such a vital part of British culture. If it dies, if it goes away, if no one does anything to support it, it'll go, right? It'll wither away, right? And then in 20 years time, in 30 years time, if you try and revive it, it's not going to exist. The thing that makes Britain unique is the British Indian curry trade. You can have as many, and what these American chicken companies called, man? They're everywhere. Wingstop, Popeyes. What can as many American imported businesses in this country as you want? They're not British, they're American. Sorry. The British Indian curry trade, it may look Indian, but it's not. It's entirely British Bangladeshi.
Yeah, but the problem with that trade now is, because we're still working in it, the young people that are growing up now, because we've not done anything with the food in itself. We've not done anything with it because look, that audience that really went out for a curry, they don't exist anymore. Yeah, those parties that used to happen in Indian restaurants, especially for the Bangladeshi community, they don't happen anymore. Christmas is even different now. But New Year's trade is different. But check this out. The reason why those American chains are coming in is because the young people are wanting something different. We haven't done anything different. So now look, check this out. When somebody goes to the curry mile in Manchester to go and have a curry, they're not having the curry that we had 15 years ago. It's changed. Now, I think the Bangladeshi community in the curry trade will suffer the most. If you go to Manchester, do you know what they've done? Anybody who's opened an Indian restaurant there, within 2 or 3 years, they franchise it. You know why? Because the model in the kitchen is anybody is a tandoori chef. You come and do your shift and you know how to make the food. In the Bengali, if you didn't have a tandoori chef,
that's right.
His tandoori chef, if he didn't come in Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, he's losing his head because there's nobody else in the business who can take on that role. Whereas other trades, whether it's wings, whether it's chicken, all of that, they've.
The point I wanted to make was that look, there is so much that we can do, right? In the sense that the industry needs to evolve and change and meet.
I've got a few things in mind. I'll reply to them.
The industry needs to do stuff 100%. You can't just sit here and say the industry has done everything perfect and now all of a sudden we die. No, I completely agree with that. But equally, you have to say that look, this is an important institution in Britain, right? And there are certain things, the way in which the British economy works, that has impacted Indian takeaways much harder than other places, and we see people crying about it, right? And rightly so for pubs. There's campaigns all the time. Oh, this pub is closing. This pub is closing. One big thing is the way in which gas and electric contracts are negotiated for businesses, right? So you're a small little business, right? You have to negotiate your energy contract with these huge brokers.
What you're saying, in the grand scheme of things, you're 100% right. If you come to it on a more community level, out of everyone in the Indian food trade, the community that's going to get affected the most when it comes to employability, business, entrepreneur is definitely the Bangladeshi community. There's no doubt about it. Because we are not bringing anything innovative to this particular sector.
But listen to, from business point of view, this especially curry houses, they are facing so many challenges. Because curry houses, the expense is way higher than a chicken shop. Because spices, spice, there's about 100 spices if you were to calculate everything. So the shopping list is way bigger. But in terms of this sort of businesses, the government can help by few things. The VAT, threshold is that's killing it. The supply gas you mentioned, the fuel cost, like gas, electric, is way since the Russia war started, it hasn't come down.
It's going to be on the roof, yeah.
So that, so going back to what Baisa was saying before, the customer is not there. Customer is there. The problem is pricey now. Even when I'm like taking orders, a simple order gets to 30, 40 quid.
And you don't get much for it.
Yeah, and it's like the couple eating like 40 quid a week. Can you imagine that? Who's gonna afford it? I feel bad saying the price when they ask me, but I'm not making much on that. I'm just about cutting corners and just making a little bit. But the biggest thing is the government needs to do something about VAT. Supply chain, we need to do something about that. So there's no disruption, like, as soon as a war happens, everybody's is affected.
Price of chicken goes up.
Everything goes up. So that
stability
and wages, like you said,
It's cost of living,
because even like I feel like I'm paying decent amount, good wage, competitive in this trade, but even after that, they can't like still live the way they want to live, because they're still struggling with the wage. So I don't know what's the answer is.
Well, look, you as an entrepreneur, you as a creative person, I'm sure you guys will find ways of making those kind of things happen. But you as a young person who's gone through all of those motions that we've been talking about over the past hour and a half, I would say, what would be your word to young people when it comes to growing up here in the UK, looking at doing business, looking at integrating, like, just give us your, like, how would you round this up? Like, what we do, what we've been doing. This whole platform, this podcast has been created so that we can bring people like yourself forward. What would you like to say to the people out there?
I would say, number one is try different things out, because you don't know what you're good at. And right now, the industry is changing. Just generally speaking, businesses, in terms of this sort of businesses, is very hard. But like you guys doing podcasts, there's video editing, there's marketing,
creative media,
there's online selling, all this kind of stuff. Do not be scared. Go ahead and try it. But I know some people, the finance is a big problem. We need some sort of system there where, or grants or something that you
can easily access.
Because that's very important. Because one of the things that you're going back to the thing that you're saying, some bosses, they don't trust their staff. Because they put so much into it, they're just afraid to take risk. Because they're just saying, if he messes it up, it's my money.
One thing Ibrahim Baisab said, if you
understand,
remember,
that's this fear more than anything. It's not that they don't trust you. It's what if that happens?
Yes, Ibrahim Baisab said it beautifully. He goes, look, we live in a 7-day calendar. Monday to Sunday, that's it.
Yes.
Then I'm not betonite to Sunday, because that we depend on that for the next 7 days. Because we're living in that cycle. This whole idea of taking the risk. Sometimes you have to take the risk where move everybody on a monthly cycle, because then your cash flow might be better. You can make, so there's so many.
The new system needs to come, but the support has to follow as well. Because we don't have a safety net at the moment. So most people that go into business and they fail, and that's it, they don't recover. And you just basically paralyze them for life. And then they'll just go to like normal 5 to like minimum wage job. And there's this thing, I'm Yomola Shanti, I say, I don't want that headache anymore. But businesses, there's positive, like it gives you freedom. Financial freedom is one of the main things people do it for. And it is, the opportunities is there. Especially like, in this country, if you can work hard, it is there. Like even in this, with businesses, you've got another thing is, if you work hard, you'll get the reward. With working, you have like a glass ceiling, they call it, don't they? You can only go so far.
As well, isn't it?
So do go into business. I wouldn't tell anybody like not to go into business. There's money to be made. But you gotta be creative. You gotta be, ruthless sometimes. That's one thing that I don't have. I need to develop.
I think
the ruthlessness.
Look, I
don't have that.
I think in this particular episode, and I don't mean to cut you off, I think I've definitely got a different view of a young person's journey through this country getting into entrepreneurship, looking after their family, being part of the community, going through the education system, looking at potentially what the risk might be in the future, but then also inspiring people to say, look, yes, we understand. Look, I think you're courageous on so many different levels. I think you are an inspiration in yourself, and your story needed to be heard, not just by your friend circle, because some of them might know you as Hannan, but we've kind of seen a different side to you. And
so many people will be surprised the fact this is the journey I've had. Because
absolutely.
I've blended in so well. Well, I think so anyway. So some people will be like, I didn't know all this stuff. But this is who I am, and this is what made me basically who I am, and I wouldn't change anything.
I think you should be really proud of your journey, and I think there's a lot more that you're going to be giving back to the community. And
but I do have to say the area that I came into, you guys played a big part. Even like playing badminton with him, we used to play badminton. I don't know, do you still play?
Yeah, I played.
And Youth and Unity with you guys. Obviously Kayoma grown up, and if I was in any other area, like I said, I started off with that. Maybe you don't know what you could have probably seen me on BBC News with a knife on my hand.
I thought you meant to go BBC News as a presenter.
That could have been that as well. You know,
the weatherman.
Oh, I could have gone the other way. You know what I mean?
He's saying crime watch.
So it's obviously Allah,
I think it's been a really good episode for us. Thank you so much for having us in your space. We just wanted to show people that, look, this is the day in the life of just regular people who have a lot to say about their life experience. And the people at home, guys, look, Hannan is here, he's in Brierfield. Anybody fancy a curry, make sure you come to his place as well. This is not a shout out, we're just saying that, look, locally there's people here who have gone through so many different changes, and they're here and they're happy to be here as well. So that's wonderful. Next week we may be in a different location. We're not going to tell you what that location is, but the location where you guys definitely need to be is on TikTok, is on YouTube, is on Instagram, is on Facebook.
And Eid next week.
Eid next week as well. I think it's next Wednesday as far as we know it. So there might be an Eid special, there might not be. I think we want to keep you guys a little bit on the edge as well. But I know this has been a longer session than normal, but it's lovely to have Hannan here with us. And no, actually it's lovely for Hannan to allow us.
Time can make a show.
No, he's not going to edit it. Sometimes it goes out raw like this as well.
Today because the cameras, the battery's gone.
Battery's gone, so so it's going to be a bit of an edit job. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We are going to see you quite soon again, but in a different location. Keep watching Mathis-Na, and we'll see you soon. Thank you, everybody.
See you later.